This is the iPhone 12. I've been using it for the past 2 weeks, but I've also used it for about 7 months back in 2023, and I can confidently say I still love using this phone. While nothing about this phone stands out in particular, I believe it's still good at almost everything. For an average user, it checks off all the boxes you would want in a good smartphone, but with two small caveats. Now, the first box it checks off is the design and build quality. In fact, so much so that Apple still uses a similar design language on its iPhones. There are two things that stand out about the iPhone 12: the negligible camera bump and the lightweight feel of the iPhone. Oh, and I really like this white color on the phone. Tends to hide fingerprints quite well. The side railing is aluminum with a matte finish, which I also love. Now, another thing the iPhone 12 checks off is the display. It has an OLED panel which, like the design, has held up pretty well. While the brightness numbers don't seem high on paper, it does do a decent job in direct sunlight. Obviously, it doesn't hold a candle against recent iPhones, but that's a trade-off we must make for a 4-year-old iPhone. Other than that, it's great for watching content, playing games, and doing just about everything you would want on an iPhone. Apple has implemented some of the best 60Hz panels in their iPhones, and the iPhone 12 still feels decent by today's standards. This brings us to another important aspect and our first caveat, the battery life, and you guys subscribing to the channel. Yes, subscribe. Now, battery life is subjective and highly dependent upon the user and the battery health. The iPhone 12 I've been using has 100% battery health, and as such lasts me a full day with light to very medium usage. You'll have to be slightly restrictive with your usage if you want it to last a full day. I use it mostly on Wi-Fi and a couple of hours of cellular 5G, and I still have a hard time getting to the end of the day. But when you do need to charge it, MagSafe is as convenient as ever. I wasn't a fan of it at first, but it has now become my main way of charging. Like I always say at the end of a battery life discussion, try to get a good battery health iPhone if you can. While battery health is important, so is storage. Now this here is the 64 gig version, and even though it has only the apps from my main iPhone and not even the photos, yet it's almost full. So if you are planning on keeping this phone for more than 2-3 years, I would highly suggest getting the 128 gig version. Performance on iOS 18 has been smooth. The phone is powered by the A14 Bionic chip, and it shows how well the phone performs even after 4 years. I've always said that the real show of power of an A series chip is a couple of years down the line, and I still stand by that statement. The phone should perform smoothly for the next 2 to 3 years and get a couple of major software updates as well. Probably the most important aspect for a lot of people in any phone is the camera. The iPhone 12 didn't do anything groundbreaking with its camera, but it still does an average job of taking decent shots. The 12 megapixel main sensor produces good color accurate shots which are pleasing to the eyes. And this is where the second caveat comes in. Recently, I made a few camera comparison videos of the iPhone 11, 12, 13, and 16, and the 12 seemed to be the worst of the bunch. It wasn't always the case, but in a couple of photos, the 12 just stood out. If you look at the photos taken with the 12 without any side-by-side comparison, you'll find them pretty good, but as soon as you bring another iPhone in the equation, the 12 seems to lag behind. Honestly, it's not a big deal, but something I wanted to just put out there. The shots you are looking at are still pretty good. They seem to be color accurate but sometimes don't have a lot of contrast. The phone also takes really good selfie shots, and if there isn't enough light, the phone can take nighttime photos as well. As someone who never uses the flash, nighttime photos come really handy. Both the daytime and nighttime shots do start suffering once light decreases, but the photos are still passable. While photos are generally solid, video is where the iPhone 12 excels. The phone captures solid 4K footage and it can do Dolby Vision HDR as well. The iPhone 12 produces good video with accurate colors, dynamic range, and contrast. While this is all well and good, keep in mind with a 4-year-old iPhone, you won't get some of the latest features such as cinematic video, 2x sensor zoom, picture profiles, and sensor shift OIS. If you can live with all that, the iPhone 12 still has a well-rounded camera. Like I said earlier, the iPhone 12 checks off all the boxes in a decent smartphone. If you are on a budget and are looking to grab an iPhone, the 12 is a no-brainer. Let me know if you have any questions, subscribe, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one.